Hi guys, welcome to today's reading for your March 2023 love predictions. Whether or not you are already taken or if you are single, this is a reading where we will get to dive into all things love related. So, as you can see, we have a cute little kitty on camera. This is Mino. I just adopted him and his brother 2 to 3 days ago, and I was starting to do the reading, and they kind of hopped up on this warm blanket and were like, I'm here to stay for the entire reading. So, we're just gonna go with it and do a reading with a cute cat, and maybe you will find it a little bit more relaxing having them here with us today. Speaking of relaxing, if it is more comfortable for you to grab a warm drink or a cold drink, that way you have something to kind of sip on and unwind a little bit as you listen to your reading today, please feel free to do so. Whether that is a hot coffee, a hot chocolate, if you are fancy enough to know how to make a boba tea, etc., etc. So I'm really excited to kind of spend this time with you guys today, and just unwind and talk about some stuff that you can look forward to. But before we get into the reading and picking your piles, I wanted to do another emotional wellness check like we did in the last video. Okay, so the first part of this emotional wellness check in is using this cute emoji scale at the bottom of the screen to rate how you're feeling in this present moment. So take whatever time you need by pausing this video so that you can choose which emoji best represents your current emotional state. Now that you've picked an emoji, are you able to label the emotions that you're experiencing in the current moment that made you choose that emoji? So, for example, if you chose the green emoji, are you feeling hopeful or confident, and that's why you chose that green emoji? If you can't find a word that you feel like best describes the emotions that you're experiencing in the present moment and what led to you picking the emoji that you did, no worries. On the screen here, you can see this is the wheel of emotions where it basically outlines some of the core emotions that we experience as humans within like the inner circle of the wheel. And as you kind of branch out, the emotions get more and more specific in the experience that you may be having. So, for example, if you are feeling happy, you'll see that in the innermost circle there is the emotion happy. But if you want to get even more specific, let's look all the way out to the outermost part of the wheel for happy. And you may describe yourself as feeling loving today, or feeling very hopeful and inspired, or joyful or curious. So you can use this wheel to try and describe as specifically as you would like the emotions that you're experiencing in this present moment. And you can also pause this video. That way you can take some time to do this and to not feel rushed in the process. All right, so you guys know what emoji you chose. You also know what emotions that you are presently experiencing because you've been able to put words to those emotions. And if it's helpful for you, you guys can put that in the comment section as well as a community. You know, what's kind of going on for you right now emotionally? Maybe you just put the word or the core emotion, something along those lines. But I want to share with you guys how I'm feeling today. So I am feeling really happy today. I'm feeling content and optimistic, and a lot of that having to do with the cute little kitties that I now have in my home with me. It's just been very therapeutic and relaxing to um, have these new family members in my home and to kind of be spending time with and just have them as emotional support animals. So I'm just feeling really good today. So yeah, so you guys have chosen the emoji for yourself. You've also labeled what emotions you're experiencing in this present moment. And you've also listened to me share with you guys how I'm feeling in this present moment. So let's get into the reading now that we have, checked in with ourselves. So we have three piles today. We have pile one, pile two, and pile three. So take as long as you need to see which number you feel most drawn to. And when you feel like you have decided what pile that is, you can go to the description box at the bottom and go ahead and click the timestamp. So thank you guys for being here, and I will see you in your reading. Hi, Pile One. Welcome to your March 2023 reading today. I hope it's okay. I have a cute little kitten here with me today. I just adopted. This is Mino, and they have a brother named Tiki who is being really cute and sitting in her cat stand to the side of the desk. But I was starting the reading, and he crawled up here and basically said, I am going to sleep on this warm blanket. So we're just going to do the reading while he's here. Maybe it'll be relaxing for some of you guys. But if it is too much of a distraction, please feel free and comfortable to let me know in the comment section. I want to make sure that these readings are helpful for you guys as well. So, all right, so let's get into it. So I pulled some oracle cards that will give the main, I want to say, energy theme, like kind of like the central message that we're going to be talking about today related to love and relationship for you guys in March. So there are two cards that came out for you. We had the first card here, Treasure Island, as you can see. And then we also had the community card in reverse. So, what we're going to do is we're going to read these straight out of the book because I feel like these give very clear, concise messages that are kind of really helpful to just kind of hear straight out. So, we'll do that and then get into getting more oracle cards, some tarot cards if needed. That way, you guys have as much information as possible. So, let's see here. We have number 9, and the relationship message says, your relationship is a treasure, providing even more than you need, but you may not see that right now. No matter how long you've been together, you and your partner are always discovering hidden gems about yourselves and each other. Now is a time of discovery. It's as if everything is in sync and everything is new again. Romance blooms and love is in the air. You can be assured that this partnership will bring you great gifts and valuable lessons. Keep your heart open. The message of this card is to celebrate love and what it teaches you. So, for you guys in the month of March, your relationships are really thriving. They're really doing well, but not just thriving, they're improving, and you're getting to experience more of the person that you're with. But also, I think for you guys, even more importantly, there's a sense of discovering more of who you are as a person through the relationship that you have with this other person. Okay, I'm saying person a lot. But through this interaction that you have with them, you are really getting an opportunity to discover your likes, your dislikes, your wants, your needs. And I feel like this other person is really a receptive individual. So, for some people, they discover a lot about themselves and their needs and wants through relationships that may be a bit difficult, tumultuous, or, maybe they figure out that they don't necessarily like something, or that they feel like they want a certain thing in relationships because they experience a lack of, within a partnership. And I don't feel like this is for you guys pile one. I feel like you're getting to experience fulfillment and being able to really pinpoint what those things are that are making you feel so fulfilled. So I love this. But because this relationship for you in March is also teaching you about yourselves, there's definitely an undercurrent theme of like discovering something very important in March. So let's talk about this community card here. We do know oftentimes, the community card does talk about relationships that are outside of ourselves, whether that is like a cohesive work environment or a cohesive home environment, healthy friends, healthy relationships with siblings or parents. It could definitely be talking about this, but also too, I get the sense of community with self, like kind of mirroring again like this treasure island card here, really kind of feeling like you are, I guess, a fan of yourself. Is that a good way to describe it? Like, this is kind of what it feels like. I think that this person that you've been talking to, been dating, they are a fan of you. And I think because of that, it feels very validating of the things that you secretly admired in yourself. But I think having someone else outwardly admire this as well has been a huge confidence booster. And really just, I think it's that experience, honestly, where because we see someone else really accepting of something that is intrinsic to us is really healing, heartwarming, really sort of like a necessary experience throughout life. So I can think of like an example of this where I like, maybe not 100% the same, but like I had gotten my nails done and it was something that really kind of, um, I don't know, felt like freaked out about because I like wanted like really long black oh my gosh, why can I talk? Really long black stiletto nails. Because I just thought that they looked so cool. And I was like, I really want to get them done. But I felt like um, my current style didn't necessarily like match those nails, if that makes sense. And so I got really like shy about wanting to go to the nailery and get them done. And I was like, you know what? I just want to go anyway. So I like, me and my mom, we went, we had fun. It was really relaxing. And I loved how the nails looked. And I think maybe like 2 days later, I was like getting off the elevator at the apartment that I lived at. And like this girl was getting on. And she was like, oh my gosh, I saw you like yesterday and I wanted to tell you, but I was too nervous. But she was like, I really love your nails. They're so cute. And I was just like, oh, thank you. And like for that day, I don't know, I felt so good because someone was complimenting me on something that was an expression of myself, an expression of my personality, an expression of my style. And so it felt really good to have someone compliment me about something that really kind of related to who I was as a person in a sense. So maybe for you guys, you have a really good sense of humor, or you see yourself and are a smart individual, or, maybe you're inquisitive, maybe you are non traditional or traditional. Well, whatever sort of like those characteristics are for you and which words you would use to describe them, there's a sense here that the person that you're with really complements those aspects of you. So, not compliment as in like adding to it, but like verbally complimenting, like, oh, babe, I love that. You're so smart because I love having like conversations and debates with you, for an example, right? Or like if you're really funny, like your partner praising you for, your comedy and being able to like always be relaxed with you and goofy, and that really kind of making you feel really good about yourself. So the main message for protection for this card says, beware of compromising your integrity in order to belong. How do you dim your light or change yourself so others will accept you in the group? Do you hide who you really are in order to play a role within a larger whole? This will never fulfill you. Now is the time to assess your willingness to be real. Stand tall, be you. Authenticity is true self expression and the only way to empower yourself. Don't be afraid to be yourself and step into the role your heart tells you to take. Making yourself small bears too high a cost. So, with the community card here, it's definitely bringing to light the fact that for many of my pile ones, there's been an experience of not being accepted, not being, I guess one of the ways that I could describe this visually or like give a proper example would be like, those movies for like high schools where there's like certain like cliques or groups, and this kind of gives me an image of like not belonging to any of those groups or not being accepted by any of those groups. Like maybe, many of my pile ones grew up as like people who didn't have many friends or like many friends within like their school, or just not being understood or accepted by people in their life as they grew up. This could also have been as well, like as you got older as well. Like this doesn't just have to be an experience for when you were super young. This could be like if you're in uni or college and this is an experience that you've had. But I do get the sense that because you've had this experience, you really have gotten to a point where you're not willing to allow yourself to continue to feel isolated. And so I get the sense that when you were kind of discovering this dynamic, discovering this relationship, or if this is a friendship, you really took into consideration whether or not this person was accepting of you. For many of you guys in this pile, similar to what the card was saying, you might have felt like you had to compromise who you were as an individual to gain acceptance, because we are human and we do need community and we do need people that we can connect with. And so when we don't find that our authentic self or our authentic being is accepted by others, we may feel the need to alter that so that we can experience connection in one sense. And so, while that experience may have been really helpful for you because you got to move out of a space of being so isolated, I feel like the space in which you are now, you're wanting to experience self acceptance for who you are without having to change. So, yeah, you guys are wanting to have the experience of you being yourself, being accepted. So, let's get some more oracle cards. And I'm so surprised. They're going to get used to, the kitties are going to get used to me doing readings. And I'm sitting in on them and not waking up. Because I'm like shuffling and I'm surprised that he is not budging. But his brother is looking over at me like, girl, what are you doing? You working magic on my brother? No. Look at the toe beans. They're so cute. I'm sorry. Okay, all right. So we have the card grounded. So grounded for me is really saying who are you? Like who have you become? Who are you wanting to become? I feel like this relationship is really allowing you to ask yourself those questions because there is this sense that you will find acceptance in this space. And so I think that some of the personality traits, characteristics of yours, maybe morals or values that you've had to shape to experience community, you are getting to kind of shed away, alter, or change. So that you are a better expression of yourself. And so I think through that experience, you feel more like you, more grounded, more in tune with yourself. Yeah, yes, exactly. The natural, yes, exactly. Like natural, authentic, real. Like this is fill your name in here. This is the real fill your name in. This is the real Jen. This is the real Paul. This is the real Sandy. Like this is the real you. So gratitude, I feel like is really talking about this person. Like you guys have a sense of Like, yeah, like, is there another way to say gratitude? Like, thanks. Like, I think you feel really grateful to have the person that you have met in your life. For some of you guys, you know who I'm talking about, but you may not be with them anymore. But I think that this relationship is really wanting to discuss whether you are with them or not with them at this time, or if this is just a platonic relationship. It really wants to talk about the gratitude, the thanks that you have to them for being able to discover yourself in the way that you did, because of this connection. Let's get some more oracle cards. Oh, sorry, sweetie. It's okay. All right. So can we get some more information about your relationships in 2023? What you guys can look forward to? Any surprises? What you're learning? Okay, so the first card we have here is changes. So this really is just highlighting the changes that you're making. Also, too, for some of you guys, you may be experiencing changes in this relationship just because you've changed. But I think that the person that you're with, you already know if this is the type of person that you can be open to about these changes, because they really, really do desire for you to be who you want to be, change in the ways that you want to change. And if you don't feel like that this is this person, know that there will be a person in your life who you can experience this with. Um, Hi there. Do you see we have another guest? Tiki. He's sleeping. All right. Any more information for pile one? Yeah, just one more. All right, we're going to pull one card for you. All right. Can we get one more message? Yeah. All right. Sexual energy is the last card we have for you guys today. Sexual energy is talking about, oh, that's so cute. Okay, all right. Sexual energy is really talking about the things that you like, dislike, want to try out in the uh, in the sexual realm. Okay, best way I can explain it. Also, though, if you're not a person who likes to engage in sex, this could be like further exploring intimacy with your partner, whichever way that looks for you. So whether this is sex or not sex, this is really just talking about deepened intimacy with another person, and or with yourself. Okay. So for some of you guys, this sense of expression really does allow you to be a better sexual expression of who you want to be. So maybe you're trying some new things out in the month of March, solo or with someone else, and just really figuring out, what do you like? Who am I as a sexual person? Who am I as a romantic person? Who am I as a person who is intimate? And also, too, what does intimacy look like for you? Maybe you guys are looking into love languages, or, just other things about relationships, about sex. Like, maybe you're looking at the Kama Sutra or like self help books. This reminds me of a book that I have. Let me see if I can remember the title. I believe the title is called Better Sex Through Mindfulness. I'm going to drop that book in the description. If you do not see it in the description, please get on me in the comment section, because I want to make sure that I can leave the author with the title. That way, if that's something that would be helpful, you can access it. All right, pile one. So this is all that I have for you guys for the month of March in 2023. The cute little kitties here are wishing you well. We are all three excited for your self discovery with your friends, your partners, with yourself, and just getting to a point where not only are you feeling really good about yourself, but the people in your life are backing you up and validating the awesome individual that you are. So I love this for you, you guys. If you found this reading helpful, please consider leaving the comments down below to let me know what kind of resonated for you. How did this relate to you? If you feel comfortable letting us know. Also, too, if you found this reading helpful, consider subscribing. That way you can get notifications when new videos come out. That way you can see readings and cute kitties. So yeah, pile one. It was good to do your reading. Thank you for allowing me to hold this space for you guys. And as always, I hope that this was confirmation of what you've been experiencing. And I will see you in the next reading. Bye, guys. Hi, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading today. So, today's reading is all about your March 2023. So, we have some oracle cards that we're going to be using. We may pull some tarot as we need it. But we have a main theme that we're going to be talking about today. And then we're going to just keep digging into that. That way you guys have as much information as we can get you. That way you have a heads up or just really get confirmation for whatever is going on for you with love and relationships in March. So this first card that we have is the Time to Go card. So I want to read this card straight out of the book. That way we can get a very clear message for you guys, and then we'll add on to it and build. So the relationship message for Time to Go says, it's over, or at the very least, the form this relationship has taken is no longer of service to you or the other person. This is a time of letting go, of knowing that the journey has come to its conclusion. That doesn't mean anything is lost. Although this card could speak to a breakup, drifting apart, or the end of a soul contract, it is more about release than destruction. Remember the saying, if you love something, let it go. If it comes back, it's yours. If not, it never was. Endings are always a sign of new beginnings. If you want something deeper, walk away. So the first thing I want to say with this card and for you guys is reading pile 2 is let this reading be confirmation of what you already know to be true, what you already know to be a decision that you're making. So, don't feel like the messages or things that we talk about today are going to be telling you something you don't already know. So, if you are not already considering leaving the relationship or are, not going through a breakup, none of those things kind of apply to you regarding the meaning of this card, then this pile may not be for you. So I just wanted to say that way you guys kind of know, we're not giving you messages here to say, something is going to end, something isn't working, nothing like that. Okay. But for you guys where this card rings true for your experience, let's get into that a bit, okay? So we have humor. So I feel like for some of you guys, the person that you're with, okay, so this is kind of what I'm getting. We're going to be talking about confirming what you're not liking about this dynamic, okay? So number one, this person does not get you. An example of that may be that they don't get your humor. They don't get the things that you find funny, and so maybe sometimes you kind of feel a bit bored or a bit what, where's the fun? Where's the excitement in having a really good laugh with your partner within a relationship? Also, too, with this curious card, it gives me the same energy of what, is it me? Am I the boring one? And I feel like this is a case of wrong, kind of wrong person to kind of be sharing a specific joke with it, if that makes sense. Not saying like specifically this is the wrong person, but just kind of, for example, like if you love deadpan humor and you try to tell a joke to someone who doesn't get or appreciate deadpan humor, like you're kind of gonna be like, you get that feeling where someone's looking at you like you're boring or you're not funny, and it's just kind of like you just didn't get the joke type of situation. This is kind of the energy that I get with that. Like, if, for example, you like dark humor and the other person doesn't like dark humor, they may just think that you're not funny or like make you feel like you're not funny, but I promise you guys, you are funny. And they may be funny too, but maybe you guys just have a different sense of humor and it just doesn't click. For some of you guys, you are a very inquisitive person. You like to question stuff. You don't want to just take stuff for face value. And so this isn't because you don't believe people. This is more so because you just have an inquisitive mind. So, maybe you are having a conversation with a partner and they tell you about this cool fact that they heard about, and you ask them like, "Oh, where did you hear that?" Or "I need to look that up." Like, and see if that's true. And some people may take offense to this because they take it. Sorry if you can hear background noise. The kitties are running. But this person may take it as you not believing them, not trusting them, not thinking that they're trustworthy with the information that they give. And really, for you guys, it has nothing to do with them. Like, this is something that I feel like a lot of you guys are just passionate about knowing more, having an open mind, being skeptical until you can find the facts in something. And that's totally fine. But I feel like this person just kind of doesn't get that. So yeah, so that may be something as well. Anything else that we want to talk about? For some of you guys, this person may make you, oh my goodness, so sorry. Hold on, I'm going to wait till they stop playing with the bags. Okay, so for some of you guys, this is, with this awake card talking about not feeling like you can be yourself with this person. And, this may be a large part because, like, if we're going back to the you don't get my humor example, or you don't get the fact that I'm like an inquisitive person, I think in this dynamic, maybe many of you have really felt like either you're walking on eggshells with this person or that you kind of have to alter or change your personality in order to avoid some of the awkwardness that you get with kind of being mismatched in certain areas of the relationship. Okay, and then we also have the patience card here. So for some of you guys, this patient card would be talking about maybe someone that you would consider, I won't say judgmental, but maybe not as open-minded as you. And so for you, you may experience this as being quick to judge. For other people, this could be like quick to anger. Maybe you see their personality as that, like maybe as they're interacting with friends or with family members, you kind of see them lose their cool really quickly, or they seem like they have a short fuse, and that's also something that you don't necessarily like within this dynamic. And so it's just kind of coming up in this relationship to kind of talk about. All right, so let's see. Oops. Let's see what else we have for you guys. Pile 2. So, can you tell us about pile 2, love and relationships for 2023? So, we have divine timing. So, for you guys who may be saying, the time to go card is here. So for you guys where you feel like this is a dynamic that you don't want to continue anymore, you really do kind of want to step away from the situation, from this person, this card is both talking about that feeling that you may be having where right now feels like the right time, but also I feel like it's, you know, one side of it here, the one bird here talking about that sense of right now being the time, But also this bird here and the other side to this card kind of being this weird, not weird, but like maybe that's how you would describe the feeling, but not like a bad weird, just kind of like a, where is this feeling coming from, where I almost am not as nervous about something because I really do know that there is something out there for me, something or someone for me to experience the things I feel like I'm not experiencing in this dynamic. I think you guys really are getting this sense of not confidence solely, but I want to say maybe confidence in being able to one day experience a relationship that you are wanting to experience. We also have the card here, struggle. And let's get one more card for pile 2. And we have ascension. So again, like two opposite sides of the coin. Like the struggle card really talking about here the experience that you've been having in this dynamic. And so for maybe some of you guys, this has negatively impacted like your daily functioning because, this relationship has been stressful, and because of the extra stress that you've been experiencing in your relationship, maybe that's taken a toll on your work life or family life with, mom and dad or siblings, or cousins. But also too, maybe with your mental health for some of you guys. But it's just something here about the experience that you have in this relationship. I think like maybe stress was like 0 to 1 when you first met this person. Like you were kind of enjoying each other's energy. And then it kind of got to the point where you started to figure out a lot of the mismatch of the dynamic. And at that point, as you like continue to stay and notice these things and observe these things over time, the interactions kind of became more stressful. And I think that the struggle card really talks about that, and how that kind of bled into other areas of your life, outside of just the relationship. But the ascension card comes in to really say that, and so we have like the bird here and the birds here. And I feel like it really is talking about, although this may be your current experience, your love and relationship reading for March in 2023 wants to say that there is more for you to experience. There is better that you will experience. And a large part of it really being because you understand the things that others may have made you think is a problem when really it really was just a mismatch in a dynamic. So again, example, if someone's like, "Oh, you're not funny," well, you know now that that is not true. You are funny. You just need to meet people who have the same humor as you, and that way you guys can really kiki, can really laugh, can really relate to each other, really have fun with one another, and just be yourself. So I love this reading for you guys. All right, pile 2. So this is all that I have for you guys this week. Thank you for being here. Thank you for allowing me to, talk about these things and kind of hold this space with you. I hope that you found it confirmation of what you've been experiencing. Oh, okay. He wants to say bye to you guys as he goes on his way. So yeah, we do have a cat for you guys, pile 2. But yeah, this is oh my gosh, why am I blanking? I've only had them for 2 days, so I'm like trying to make sure I remember their names too. This is Mino. Say hi, Mino. Hi, Mino. Hi. Hopefully you can see his face. Hi, Mino. Oh, okay. But yes, thanks again for being here. And I will see you guys in the next reading. Bye, pile 2. Hi, Pile 3. Welcome to your reading today. So, today's message is all about your love and relationships in March 2023. So, the first card that we have here is the general theme of what love and relationships is looking for you in the next month or whenever you're seeing this video for the month of March. So, let's get into it. So, the first card we have here is flexible. And then we also have the card here, TikTok. For you, Pile 3, you may have the experience where you're really worried that, say for example, you just hit 30 or you just hit 40, and for the culture that you're a part of, the community, the country, whatever that thing is that, an expectation is, or you sort of start to get those comments and questions about, so do you ever want to get married? Do you want to have kids? For some who already have kids, maybe you're in a relationship and people are asking, like, so when's the next one? This kind of gives me these cards, it kind of gives me the feeling of feeling pressed or rushed to, sorry if you can hear noise in the background, those are the kitties playing, but kind of feeling rushed or pressured to either ignore certain things in people in relationships, or um, really feeling like you have to compromise on things that you really shouldn't be compromising on. And so you'll know what I kind of mean by shouldn't, because you probably already have something in mind that you feel like you're compromising on that just doesn't feel good for you to compromise on. So, we gave the example of like the kids, but for maybe some of you guys in pile 3, you have an idea of what you do and don't want because of your experiences with, relationships, and it really kind of took you being in certain relationships or being in several relationships to really garner a greater sense of what you do and what you don't want. And I feel like you've kind of learned a lot of that in either this current relationship or your past relationship, and you're really wanting to, I want to say that there is a sort of like intrinsic, like an inner sense of wanting to honor those needs and those wants. But for some in pile 3, there's a sense that you just can't ignore, like you can't, because, I've hit 30, for example, and if I leave this relationship, am I really going to get what I'm looking for? Like maybe some of my pile 3s are feeling like they are just compromising or settling. Yeah, maybe settling is a good word. Like, and it's not to say that the person you are with right now isn't a wonderful person, but maybe for some of you guys in pile 3, there's really this experience that, like, what I want, I'm not going to be able to get here. Like, maybe you want kids and the other person that you're dating right now doesn't want kids. Maybe you want to get married and the other person, like, wants to do something that is a little bit different. Maybe your style of relationships is a certain way. Maybe you want to explore your sexuality in a certain way, and that doesn't match up with the person that you're dating right now. But for some reason, there really is sort of this clash of, am I kind of being too flexible in this dynamic, because I feel pressed for time, and I feel like that is for a large majority of, or at least a part of my pile 3. So we have kind of like two separate groups here where, if you're feeling like you're being pulled to be more flexible, then okay, we're taking the meaning of this card for face value. But I think that for many of you guys, pile 3, this is saying, I don't really want to, you know, I don't really want to compromise because I'm feeling pressed on time. Or for some of you guys, this is maybe like an inner feeling that you just quite couldn't put. Oops, sorry, they're running. But like an inner feeling that you quite couldn't put words to, but kind of hearing it now, you're like, oh, that's it. Like that is that niggling feeling. So let's see. So the first card we have is Brave, and then we also have Pleasure. So the Brave card kind of talks to me, at least, about the courage that it may take to say to a person, if these are things that you can actually have conversations about and compromise on, or feel like there's a future in a relationship still, and you want to have conversations. This is kind of talking about, you may be nervous about this, but you are a brave individual for even wanting to speak up about this, even kind of like making mental note of this, like kind of wanting. I feel like the brave card wants to talk about a strength of yours, of noticing, like it's not, it gives the feeling of like it's not an easy thing to be aware of certain things and dynamics, like I think you have a realization that you could have gone a really much longer time, than it may have taken you to kind of come to this realization. And I think the time portion of it kind of relates, because you don't want that feeling. I feel like pile 3, you don't want that feeling of looking back and being like, oh, I wish I would have just said something or did something different once I noticed this. And so I think that there's a sense of pride that you guys have, and rightfully so, that you not only noticed it, but were willing to acknowledge it, willing to accept how you were feeling, accept what you recognize to be true about yourself. But we also too have the pleasure card here. I think for the pleasure card, this is partly talking about, hobbies, like discovering things that you really enjoy. I think that because you may be experiencing, some may be experiencing a breakup, like really needing to kind of figure out things that make you feel good about yourself, things that kind of increase your baseline. You know how certain activities or foods or things give you like a dopamine or serotonin hit? Like, I feel like you guys are like figuring out things that give you that. So whether or not it's like hobbies, watching like comedy stuff so you can get a good laugh, changing the things that you eat so that it helps your mood a little bit more while you're, going through a tough time. But also too, I feel like wanting to explore, wanting to explore your sexuality. Like maybe for some of you guys, the mismatch is related to, the more intimate aspects of your relationship, whether that involves sex or not. But this could be like a mismatch in love languages, or like maybe you're a person who's really into, love languages, or just, being aware of your personality and the type of relationship styles that fit you and how you receive love, but the other person isn't like really into kind of, I guess, focusing in on those things to improve them. And so I think that for you guys who this relates to, you're really wanting someone who cares the same way that you do about improving relationships, about improving how your partner feels, if that makes sense. So, like, if you were to tell your partner, hey, babe, like, my love language is really quality time. Like, I want, when we hang out, to have your undivided attention, and, not to have my partner with their like face in their phone, and to really just kind of do activities where we're focused in on each other. And so maybe you tell this to your current person, or, the person that you have in mind for this reading, and they either don't listen or they hear you and they don't do anything different. And I feel like you guys are really just wanting someone who takes your um, takes your pleasure seriously, takes what your needs and wants are seriously, because you do that for your partners. So I like fully understand you guys are needing this to be reciprocated. Like, you guys are flexible people. You guys are willing to question your perspectives on things so that you are more open-minded to your partner's perspective. I hope that makes sense. You guys are just really willing to be open-minded about things so that I almost feel like things don't get boring, but also like there's this continuous line of really good communication between you and other people who kind of match this energy, because you want to make sure that you're constantly making sure that the other person is okay. But because this person doesn't match that energy, it may feel like you're checking in and caring in certain ways that you just don't get back. And that's, you're just kind of needing that. We have the strong card here. So you guys are really people who you're willing to put in the work. You're willing to literally go out of your way and, say for example, your partner is seeming really down and you talk to them and you kind of try to figure out what's going on, and maybe for one reason or another they're like shy about sharing what's going on. You will not leave the situation at that. Like, you will go and like pop on Google and say, what are some ways to support your partner, even even outside of just with words, right? Like, you're the type of person who you want to go out of your way to help the people that you care about, to support them. That's the word I want to use. You're a very supportive person. And I feel like that is something that you need reciprocated. All right, do we have anything else for pile 3? We have flow. I want to get one more. Okay, flow and ease, yeah. Like, you guys are just like, look, I know I've been here for such and such amount of time, but if the relationship is not feeling good for you anymore, I think you guys are at the point where you're just like, look, I gotta go. Like, no hate or, anything towards the other person. You're just like, look, this isn't it. Like, this isn't giving what it's supposed to be giving. Like, I'm looking for something else. I need my energy matched in the dynamic. Yeah, that's what this really feels like. So, all right, let's get some final messages for pile 3 for their love and relationships in March 2023. All right, the first card we have is It's All Good. So, It's All Good for me is talking about there is a person that will match your energy. And the strong card kind of being underneath it, I feel like in some way alludes to the fact that there may be a essence of needing to stay strong. I use that very loosely, okay? Like, that phrasing is like, if that is a phrasing that works for you, all right, great. I'm glad, I threw it in there. But I feel like that phrase does not work for a lot of people, understandably so. But in saying that, I don't mean like pushing yourself beyond what you can do. This is more so like an inner mindset of, all right, I'm going to do my best to wait until I find someone that matches my energy. And in that sense, it kind of shows an essence of strength or will to wait until you find someone that you're a match with. All right, we have we have letting go, and we also have integration. So yeah, so the things that you have noticed that are really important to your relationships, there is a sense here that in you letting go of something that no longer suits you, you've also at the same time made a sort of like a commitment to let go of anything that doesn't return the energy that you're giving to them, whatever doesn't return the effort that you're putting in. This is anything that's not reciprocal in the things that you need to be reciprocated. And I word it that way because it's different for everybody. It varies what things you like to be reciprocated, you know. In some relationships, people really value going Dutch. In some dynamics, they really like to have one person pay for, um, you know, the dinners, or, you know, maybe this is like paying the bills if you guys live together, and, you know, you like to be in charge of certain bills and they like to be in charge of certain financial stuff. And you know, it's just the energy of I want to say it feels balanced. That's what I want to say. It feels really balanced. But yeah, in the letting go, there's also a sense here that in the same token of letting go of something, have also cemented the acknowledgement that something was important to you. That, say for example, if you're in a relationship where the person doesn't care about your love language, just kind of, you don't feel like they love you the way you need to be loved because they just simply don't care to love you differently than the way that they want to love you. If you were to leave a dynamic like that and say, I'm not gonna settle until I find someone who's willing to love me the way I want to be loved and not just the way they want to love me, that you have now integrated this commitment. You've integrated this commitment to yourself to not take anything less than what you know you want and what you know you need. So what else for pile 3? So the last card that we have for you guys, pile 3, is discernment. So you guys, for, you know, this month, but honestly for months to come, for here on out, really is kind of how this is feeling. Your discernment for the relationship that you get in is much improved from what you may, if you were to like look back years ago from now, or relationships ago from now, that you really feel like you have a stronger sense of discernment. And if you don't feel like you have that now, this is something that you can look forward to having, like this sense that you really are able to pick up in a dynamic, um, if there's something that's off, if there's something that's not a match. That way, instead of feeling like you've kind of like wasted time in a relationship, you can kind of pick it up quicker because you've experienced something similar, or you kind of are more tuned into when something just doesn't feel right, and really like acknowledging that, really validating that feeling. And, you know, even if it's just a gut feeling, you kind of trusting yourself enough to go off of that gut feeling and say, hey, you know what, maybe this just isn't a dynamic for me. Maybe this just isn't the person for me. And I trust myself to wait for that person. I wanted to pull one more card. I might pull another one as well, but we have sacred space. And let's get one more because I feel like there's another message before we close up. Yeah, this feels like, yeah, we also have movement into balance. So sacred space and movement into balance. This feels like acknowledging being the badass human that you are. That's the best way I can describe it. Like, it gives energy of like, okay, walking like you know, walking like you are it, because you are, pile 3. Like, like seriously, like there is this sense of confidence here that is because you know you're not willing to take less than what you deserve. And it shows. I mean, seriously, if you are looking to get into a relationship, when I tell you this feels like attractive energy all day. There's just something about a person who knows what they want and is not willing to settle. And I feel like you guys are all in that energy, and you are just eluding that energy. For that same reason, though, we do know that, sometimes we have to weed through a couple of people because they see the positive energy and they want some of it because they ain't all of that. And so you may be weeding through, some people just to feel them out, to make sure that they really are what they are saying that they are. But again, you guys have got the discernment. You guys are really making sure that you take care of like your space and yourself, through the dynamics that you choose. And this overall just feels really good for you guys, pile three. So I am really grateful that you guys allow me to, hold the space with you. I hope that you found this message to be confirming of what you've been experiencing. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, pile three.